Melanie here from International TEFL Academy in Costa Rica. Thanks for tuning in to our grammar presentations. Those of you that are already teaching English, we hope this is a good opportunity for you to refresh the content that you need to teach so you can be more confident in the classroom. And those of you that are thinking about teaching English abroad, we hope this is the first step in embarking in that journey. Let's get started. Today we're going to spend some time looking at the future perfect. Let's start by looking at some examples. Before Friday, I will have finished my task. The future perfect, which is underlined, is telling us that an event is expected to be finished by a certain time in the future, in this case Friday. He will have called by this time tomorrow. Again, this is an event, an action that we expect to be completed by a certain time in the future, in this case, this time tomorrow. To form the future perfect, we are going to use the modal will, which will be followed by the infinitive have, and then a past participle. For instance, I will have seen the movie before our next class. Again, we are expecting this event to be finished by some point in the future, in this case, our next class. Will is followed by have, and then the past participle seen, which comes from the verb to see. He will have finished the project by Monday. Will is followed by the infinitive have, and finished is the past participle of the verb finish. And an example of the third person plural, they will have eaten by the time we arrive. Will is followed by have, and eaten is the past participle of the verb to eat. And again, we are anticipating this event to be finished by a certain time in the future. In this case, our arrival. We've looked at past participles a number of times in the past, but let's take one more chance because we need them to form the future perfect tense. Remember that verbs come in three forms: the present indicative, the past simple, or the past participle, which is the form of the verb that cannot stand alone. It will always be with an auxiliary verb, like in this case, have. For instance, write is the present tense. Yesterday I wrote, and I have written. Written is the past participle form of the verb write, which is an irregular verb because it does not follow a specific pattern and it does not have the ed in the past simple or past participle. Listen would be a regular verb because in the past simple I listened and I have listened. Both of those conjugations have an ed. Cook would be another example of a regular verb. Yesterday I cooked and I have cooked with an ed. Another example of an irregular verb would be drink. Yesterday I drank and I have drunk with a u. Cut is also irregular. In the past simple, cut, and I have cut. So all three forms actually look the same, but there are no eds, so that's why we consider it an irregular verb. I can use the future perfect in positive, negative, and question forms. For example, in the positive, I will have ended the relationship by then. Again, this is implying by a certain time in the future that this event will be completed. In the negative, they won't have seen me for 5 months. Won't is the contraction for will not, which is followed by have, and then the past participle seen. And an example of a question would be, will you have emailed the project by Tuesday? I start my question with will, followed by the subject, then have, then my past participle.
Before I turn 50, I will have visited 3 continents. By this time next year, I will have cooked some Asian food. By Friday, I will have played some Minecraft. Before our next class, I will have practiced some of this grammar.
Alright, let's review the future perfect. Remember, the future perfect is used to talk about an expected completed action that will be finished by a certain time in the future. For example, we will have been employed for 8 months by then. Will is followed by the infinitive have and then the past participle been. And before our wedding, we will have built our house. So we are expecting that at that point in the future, we will have completed our house. Remember, we can use the future perfect in the positive, the negative, and the questions as long as we have will plus have in our past participle.